talk about who you are, what you're doing.
You're live on Wesh's platform.
Oh, she already live.
You
okay,
gotta
so
cut that part.
We're at Passaris celebrating the Mr and Miss Autism 2026. It's an annual event which I've been doing since I joined Parliament in 2017. So this is Ruth Tenai. She's a mother with an autistic son, and she lives in the US where her son has all the beautiful facilities and benefits, and she felt for the Kenyan children. So she came to Kenya with Step Up Autism and joined Ready Aiders, who provide a therapy center in Mathare. And together every year with the support of GAF and many other partners who we are so grateful for, they do the Mr and Miss Autism, which is an amazing event for autistic families, children with their families. So Ruth, talk to Kenya about
hello everybody.
What you need
Today is it's an autism month, and I'm really glad to be here. I always do this annual event with the help of GAF, and our advocate here is also a very strong advocate, Honorable Passaris. She's like our role model because she really helps us a lot. And we are doing this because we feel like autistic children in the community, they really need a lot of support, especially in Kenya, because we see a lot of gaps with services for our children. And I felt like there is an opportunity to create awareness by having Mr and Miss Autism Kenya, where we have categories of children modeling who are in the spectrum. It can be we can't say high or low, but they get crowned and they do advocacy after the crowding. They do advocacy door to door, or they can go from community to community depending where they are. And doing this really is a very important aspect of bringing people to understand what autism is, and reach out a lot of people who can be able to understand, to accept our own children, and also include them in all the daily living, in everything that they do, because we cannot separate our children. That just because they're autistic or they have disability, they have to be all kept together, but also treated and respected and given dignity at the same time, not treated differently. So we are here today supporting this event, and I'm glad to host it. We are happy to have everybody here, Passaris here, and Honorable Mheshimiwa Nyamu over there. So I'm grateful, that's all I can say. And we really need your support. If you're out there, support us when you have time, support us whether in social media. We really need a lot of awareness and a lot of to fill a lot of gaps that are missing. So thank you.
Thanks, Ruth. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, Ruth didn't have to come back to Kenya and help the children with autism here, but she did because she realized that there's so much more that's being offered in the US than it is here. So Senator Karen Nyamu is also here, and she's sponsoring a bill in the Senate on autism, so let her also speak to you.
Hi, I identified a legislative gap
Just a minute.
in the country.
Just a minute.
Where
Just a minute. I just want you to do it together because there was a mistake somewhere.
Okay.
Tuko sawa? Tuko sawa? Tuko sawa? Tuko sawa still? Haya.
So I identified a legislative gap as far as the autism condition is concerned, because it is lumped up together under the Disability Act, the General Disability. But we realize autism is a very unique condition that needs special care and special screening. So my bill provides for early diagnosis, it provides for budgets at the national government level, at the county government level, it provides for autism units in the hospitals from level 4 to level 5 of all public hospitals. There's a proposal to have autism units. We have had the first reading of the bill in the Senate. It is coming up for second reading when we resume session in 2 weeks. And we received a lot of overwhelming feedback at the public participation. A lot of stakeholders came in and have enriched the bill. It is totally different bill right now from the draft that I had put forward, and I really want to thank the stakeholders because they took a lot of interest in this bill, and it's going to be a game changer when the government funds the autism management. Before the screening and autism management and therapy was a preserve of the rich. It was a privilege for those who could afford because it is very expensive. But right now, when the bill passes, we are going to have even vulnerable members of the society, the poor families, affording therapy, and government taking responsibility and taking care of these vulnerable children.
Thank you. Some
Okay, so we're going to continue and go back and finish the fashion show. I mean the Mr. and Miss Autism, and then crown our autistic winners. But everybody's a winner just for being here and participating. So the thing I want to say is we have autistic children. I hope that in the next census we will actually count them so that we can know what are we dealing with, cerebral palsy, any other disability. We need to understand what we're dealing with so we can effectively budget for it. But right now, I think every classroom needs to have some facility for autistic children so that the parents can be able to take the kids to school. And you can't have them scattered around across the country, like even Kize. Kize is brilliant, we have it in Nairobi, but how many? It's 100 shillings, it's affordable, but you can't put an autistic child in a public transport and transport them because they get affected by crowds, people, that strangers and noise, so it becomes very difficult for the mothers to bring them out. I think the police also have been sensitized, because before they would arrest an autistic child who was wandering, and then or a young adult, and think he was misbehaving, but in actual fact he's autistic. And I think they need training to understand that not everybody who shouts or screams or puts their head on the or beats you is violent. They're just autistic and they need special attention. We as a government, I think we need to provide for the drugs for autistic children in our SHA. We need to cover that, and I believe that CS Ndwale should look into that so that we have the drugs for the parents, because it's too expensive. And when we talk about benefits, I think we need an unemployment benefit, and we start with moms with children with disability. So you can't say 2,000 for a mother with an autistic child or a child with cerebral palsy. We need to come up with an amount. Let's say 20,000 shillings. We pay teachers, we pay doctors, we pay nurses. Can we pay mothers who have children with disability where they can't go to work? So if we pay them that money and we put them in, then they can pay their rent, they can buy the food, they can look after the child. And then we need halfway homes. Halfway homes are so important, because what happens when this mother dies and leaves this child behind? Where is this child going to be? And in America they have this program where the mother takes the children every time she wants to go on vacation or on a weekend when she needs a break, because they understand that it's a lot. And then when the mother dies, they know that this child belongs to this home, and they will pick the child, and the child will stay there until he or she dies. So I think there's a lot of work to be done, and we need to budget. So when we budget for infrastructure and we budget for human resource, let us also budget for that human that requires us to be more humane. And I think that it's not too much to ask. So in the next census, let's count the autistic children that we have, and let's understand why do we have them. So autism, I know that I met a doctor in Egypt in one of the conferences that I attended, and she said that they found that there was a correlation between having children frequently, like have a child every year, and then you find you have an autistic child, or trauma. So I think that we need to encourage people to plan their families and space their children, because we need to look at, when we have an autistic child, is it because the child was born immediately after the last one? There was no gap in between. But I also know a friend of mine who has an autistic child, and she says that this happened because I had a robbery in my house and I was in a state of shock when I was pregnant. So there are many reasons, but all in all, if we're a country that wants to be blessed, we need to do more for those that God loves, and the most vulnerable and the most marginalized. So I'm very happy with Ngaf. We've been supporting the Mr. and Miss Autism. We also did 17 autistic classrooms in Nairobi, which was started by Honorable Shebesh, and I completed it. We support this event every year. Passaris Foundation, together with all our friends and partners. Special shout out to Gideon Muluki of Cooperative Bank. He sent money, so I'm able now to give the cash awards to everyone. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I just go around begging, because I need the money to do what I need to do to make sure that we can touch every corner, every life. Even though Ngaf is limited, we can still touch a life, and that's what we're doing today. So let's just go in there and crown Mr. and Miss Autism 2026. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good. Pace where they can express themselves and be shown love, and be shown that they're not, and be shown love, and be shown that they're not a minority. They're not a minority exactly, but they can be loved. Yeah.
Absolutely, fantastic. You have such an American accent. How come?
Sorry?
You've got an American accent.
Well, it's cool.
Good. All right.